I wasn't going to make a third video, however, I'm back, and something that came into my mind after my fantastic delivery coming, but I really felt like I needed to share this because for those of you who've been watching my video, I always argue that spot price is irrelevant for pretty much most things, and I stand by that. There's certain coins and and bars that do have more of a relevance towards spot price. Spot price does move the price more than other coins. So, for example, you've got your higher denominations in gold, and you've got your that's for both coin and bar, and then you've also got your 1 ounce governmental bullion and also rounds. I don't touch rounds. I think they're garbage. There's very few I touch, and they're more the artistic type, are the ones that are visually striking. I don't like to sell them because, like I said prior, I believe that I'm selling investment items, and I want people to actually, well, I sell them in the hope that they make money going forward. That's my intention. I'm not going to change the way I am. Now, what I wanted to talk about today was the role of buying from abroad. And I know a lot of people that are very anxious about this, but there's two major reasons why you should buy from abroad. One of them is currency rates. Actually, I can think of three major reasons. So one is currency rates. This is important because the world is in a constant state of flux. So you'll have one currency that's tanking, for example, America, one currency that is doing well, for example, the UK currency against America. You're now in a position where you can buy more coin from the US than you could, for example, from Europe. Now, the world is in a constant state of arbitrage, so it will be currency pairs from the US to UK, or the UK to Europe, or you could even go further flung. Like I certainly have no problem going in any part of the world as long as the dealer or the person I'm dealing with is trustworthy. So, for example, I sometimes deal with Singapore or Malaysia or Japan, you know, and you can make it as simple or as complex as you want. So, if you want to go down the simple route, you can say, well, my pound is now buying more and coin is worth X amount in X country, and I can now buy more for it. So say, for example, I'm in Japan and the UK one day had the same prices for coins, and then the price you get is now better in Japan because the pound has got stronger. You can buy more bang for your buck. Now, reason number two that I like going abroad when buying is purely for the fact that I often find things that you don't see in the UK. One of the things that I am a strong proponent of, and I've sold many of these, and I am the champion of these. I've seen another dealer start getting them in. Grrr. Nah, we're all good. He's a top man, actually. Is 5 gram silver notes. So I saw the trend, or I saw a trend where the big European, no, not European, big Western mints were starting to make these. So I went to my contacts in Asia and I said, look, I'm looking for these notes. What can you find me? And they found me these brilliant notes. But I took a risk. I went out and bought 100 of these notes. And then I sold them and I bought more. I think I've got about 150, maybe 175 on my books. And I'm happy not to sell them. I think they would do fantastically in the long term. And if people don't want to buy them, I'm more than happy to sit on them for a few years and see where it takes me. So it could turn out to be an amazing investment, or it could revert back to a lower price. And that's the risk as an entrepreneur that I take. And that's okay. So, number one, you can benefit from better currency. Number two, you can often find items that you wouldn't find in the UK. And the third point that I like to raise is that different regions of the world value coins differently. So, for example, I went to a European country. I spoke to a dealer in a European country. I didn't actually physically go there. I won't say which country it was. And he turned and said to me, I do a lot of business with him. He's like, Sean, I've got these coins. Can't get rid of them. I was like, well, how much are you selling them in your market? And he was like, oh, I'll sell them to you for about £22. And I looked at all of the sources in the UK, 35 and up. I said to him, I'll take the lot. He said, you don't know how many I got? I was like, doesn't matter, I'll take them. Bought the lot, and I actually sold all of them bar 3 coins within maybe an hour or two of putting them up. I like that. That's easy money for me, and I know, because I've worked backwards and I know my stuff, that it's not a risk for me. I've got a larger profit line. I've made more bang for my buck by going out and doing deals with people that other people wouldn't. I also benefited from the currency at the time as well, because it did jump up. So you can combine these things. So I remember doing a 4-stage deal. Now I have to bank it a certain way due to how tax laws work, and it needs to be done by the book. But I remember doing a four-part trade where I went to Malaysia. I also went to Spain. I also had a guy in the UK, and I literally just traded around the world to get the price I needed. I made money on all parts of the transaction. So that's the more complex side of it. Not everyone could be bothered to do that. Some people don't have the skill set to do that. It's something that can be learned, but it can get very tricky when dealing with multiple currencies. In fact, I'm pretty sure I laid down for 6 hours because I had a massive headache trying to deal with the ringgit, and I think we worked in the dollar and the euro, and also the pound. It wasn't pretty, but I was able to piece together this deal by following these principles. Now, you may think, oh, that's really clever, but it's not a principle that is uncommon. So it's actually termed as global. And global means global mindset and local market. So you can go out, buy the product you need, and sell it locally. And it works. And I suggest anyone try it. Everyone's got a contact, maybe a family relative. And you can always just keep track of things. Like, for example, if you've got a contact in America, you say, oh, well, I want to get some... Let's use Scottsdale, because Scottsdale is a company in Arizona that makes fantastic stuff. It's brilliant. I absolutely love it. I've actually got one of these. It's a 10-ounce stacker bar that I've just dropped on the floor. It's my paperweight. I don't intend on selling it. I just like looking at it. It's one of the most fantastic bars I've come across. I think it's the best thing since sliced bread. So, but if you've got a relative in America and you say, well, the bar's selling for this, here's the benchmark, I want to get 10 of these in, can I make a markup, or can I get them in cheaper by using this contact? And if the answer is yes, then do it, Like, you've then got an asset that, even if you need to sell it very quickly, you've already got a buffer. Like, if you sell it for what you bought it for and you've managed to get in a lot cheaper, say 20-30% cheaper than the market rate, if you put it up 20-30% cheaper than the market rate in the UK, it will go in seconds, most probably, unless it's a really bad month, but it will fly. So I implore you to talk to your contacts to see what you can do. And it's not just the States. You can do it in Australia, you do it in New Zealand. People want to do business all over the world, and that's the way it works. You don't have to be distrustful. As long as they've got a good rep, no problem. And it's something you can use to your benefit. So this is my last video for today. I've put out a lot of content in the past few days, and I've wanted to run with it because I've had a lot of things on my mind. But I'm going to take a break for a day or two, I reckon. So, speak soon.